Welcome to PodcastOne. We hope you'll support our sponsors who bring you these podcasts absolutely free and with limited interruptions. And of course, we appreciate you listening to this show, which will get started in just a second.
The Steve Austin Show is sponsored in part this week by Credit Associates. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back. Because you know what? You don't. There's a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. The credit card companies don't want you to know this. And if you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let Credit Associates settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. Call Credit Associates now, 1-800-400-5617 for free information. They'll even show you how much money you could save. Again, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. They depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. Call 1-800-400-5617. That's 1-800-400-5617.
The following program is a PodcastOne.com production. From Hollywood, California, by way of the Broken Skull Ranch, this is the Steve Austin Show.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Now, here's Steve Austin.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Steve Austin Show. I am coming to you from the mean streets of Los Angeles, California today, and it is trash day here in sunny Southern California, the mean streets of Los Angeles, at least in my neighborhood. And I have hit the record button and the stop button several times because the trash trucks are picking up so many trash cans that's discombobulating my entire podcast. It's starting to piss me off a little bit. This is the family-friendly version of the show. So my guest today is Brian Kendrick, and I'm going to get to Brian here in just a second, and I'll tell you what we're talking about today on the podcast. But before we go any further, before another trash truck rolls down the alley or rolls down the front of my house, let me take care of a piece of business here and tell you about this. The Steve Austin Show and PodcastOne are looking for your help to consistently improve our show by making your podcast experience even better and keeping this show free to download with minimal ads. Head over to podcastone.com/my survey or go to podcastone.com and click on the survey banner to take a short, completely anonymous survey. The survey is less than 5 minutes of your time and will go a long way in helping us find appropriate advertisers for the Steve Austin Show. If you've done the survey before, we'd really appreciate it if you did it again so we can constantly evolve and better suit your needs. Again, go to podcastone.com/my survey or go to podcastone.com and click on the survey banner to fill out this short anonymous survey. All right, now that all the headaches, hassles, and horse manure is out of the way, my guest today is the Brian Kendrick, WWE superstar. God dang it. I called up Brian the other day, and I said, hey, man, how you doing? And Brian was actually in a movie theater. He was watching the Stephen King movie, or based on a book that he wrote, called It. He didn't take my call, but he stepped out of the theater to return my call. And I said, hey, man, I was just calling to see if you want to come over this weekend and sit down and shoot the breeze while we watch a match of professional wrestling. And I said, if you send me, your matches that you'd like to watch, I'll come up with a list that I wouldn't mind watching, and we'll agree upon a match and watch it and kind of talk about it. And he said, hey, man, that sounds great, because Brian and I have been wanting to sit down and watch a few matches together ever since the first time I had him on the podcast. So anyway, he's sending some real interesting matches. You'll hear those when we get to Brian Kendrick. The ones we end up talking about is one of the Flair matches from 1989, the trilogy matches with Ric Flair and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And we ended up talking about the one from Chi-Town Rumble from 1989. Hellacious match. I believe Steamboat wins the belt from Flair on this occasion, and he wanted to talk about that one. And all of the matches were awesome. It's very subjective, of course, which one was your favorite, but they're all just off the charts, and the chemistry that these two guys had in the ring were amazing. Now, if you're driving down the road, if you just listen to us talk about this match, I mean, hell, the first 30 minutes of the show is me just shooting the breeze with Brian while my wife's trying to hook up the computer to my television set over here. Then ends up turning the WWE Network on so we can watch it on the network. And I didn't hit the pause button while we were talking during this podcast, because when you hit the pause button on that Apple TV, it's Apple TV, man, your screen goes blank. You got to reboot it and you got to refind, the WWE Network. It's a pain in the ass. So I don't really give a time code out. You'll hear the match we're talking about. You'll know kind of when we start if you want to go back and watch this with us. And we're not trying to lay down color commentary. I'll talk about a few things that are going on during the match. Obviously, for your greatest viewing experience, you want to hear Jim Ross call the match because he's on fire and he's tremendous. But Brian and I are just kind of talking about some of the things that happen, during the match. Some of the calls Flair makes. I mean, he's just such a ring general out there, and you can never see him make calls. This is a rare occasion to get a chance to see some of them. Him and Steamboat, wonderful chemistry. It's a great match. A couple of times there's some communication things in there with one of my favorite referees of all time, Tommy Young, giving a few directions here and there. Just an awesome match to watch, and we were talking about it. Again, as I say during the podcast, if you dig, what we're doing here, send me something, thumbs up or thumbs down to questions@steveaustonshow.com and say, hey, man, see if you can do some more of these. Or, hey, nice try, but let's move on and do something different. So I value your feedback. If you weren't able to jibe or gel with some of the things we're talking about or what we discuss after the facts of the match, then, hey, let me know. We're just taking a swing here. It's not just me sitting down and talking with Brian. I did that, a couple of months ago, and I pretty much know all about Brian right now. And I don't know everything about him, but you can only cover so much territory. And I just thought it'd be cool to watch a match with another guy who's been in the business for a long time. He can work his ass off, is very smart to the business. And I have my opinions on things, and he has his opinions. So that's the podcast today. And it was always a pleasure to see Brian and talk with him. He's a real smart guy. He's so smart. He brought 4 Broken Skull IPAs over in a big old bag. And I didn't drink one of them, but Brian had a couple. And we had a great conversation. So that's the podcast today. If you dig it, send me a thumbs up or thumbs down to questions@steveaustonshow.com. That is my show today. But before we get to Brian Kendrick and the BS session, the first half, and talking about the match and pro wrestling on the back half, I got to tell you about Dollar Shave Club. Guys, by now you're probably well aware that Dollar Shave Club ships amazing razors for just a few bucks. Well, what you might not know is that Dollar Shave Club also has products for all your grooming needs, from body wash to shampoo to hair gel. They got it all. Dollar Shave Club makes it absolutely simple to upgrade your shave and your bathroom with their high-quality products delivered right to your front door. They are changing the game. For a limited time, new members can get the Dollar Shave Club starter set for only $5. In your first box, you'll get trial-size versions of their shave butter, body wash, butt wipes, and their executive razor with an awesome, weighty handle and a full cassette of cartridges, again, for just $5. After your first month, replacement cartridges ship automatically for just a few bucks a month. You can only get this offer exclusively at dollarshaveclub.com/Steve. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Steve. I get these razors every single month. I dig them.
Hey everyone, Lillian Garcia here. Make sure you check out my new show, Chasing Glory with Lillian Garcia, every Monday on PodcastOne. I'm bringing you the biggest stars in entertainment where we discuss their journey to fame. Dave Bautista helped kick off the show, and since then, we've had WWE superstar Samoa Joe and undefeated boxing champ Layla Ali. Many more of your favorite athletes and entertainers to come here on Chasing Glory. So hit that subscribe button and hang out with me every Monday.
This is the Steve Austin Show.
God dang, I just hit the record button. I got the Brian Kendrick over at 317 Gimmick Street. There's something wrong with this picture. Before I start rambling, the Brian Kendrick, welcome to the Steve Austin Show. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, sir? And thank you for having me.
God dang, there's something wrong with this picture, obviously. Brian comes over with a couple of Broken Skull IPAs. I commend you on your selection of beer. What spurred that choice?
Well, the first time I came over before, I saw these sitting at the Marina Liquor Store. I've never had them before, and it seemed only appropriate. And I fell in love after my first sip, so I seek them out wherever I can. Unfortunately, they're not on taps everywhere.
Yeah,
because it's a damn fine beer.
We're working on that. Thank you for the compliment. My uncle and my aunt. And I just got finished talking to the Brian Kendrick about this a while ago. I've been hitting the head with too many steel chairs. My aunt and my uncle came down. They watched the A&M UCLA game, and my nephew has a son that's playing on the Texas A&M team. And God dang, did you see that football game?
I
didn't know you was a big football fan. Are you more of a pro football guy?
Oh, yeah, NFL, yeah.
Brian is sitting right next to me. We got this table rigged over here. We're going to watch a Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat match. I called him out of the blue the other day. I said, hey, man, I never did this before. I said, well, we just kind of Mr. Science 3000 a wrestling match. We're not going to make fun of it, though. We're going to put him over. And Brian says, I'm down with it. So he brought some beer over. Here we sit. God dang, man, it started out the gate. I wasn't really invested in the UCLA A&M game because I'm from Texas, but, kind of a Bama fan, waiting to see what Tom Herman does over at, in Austin at UT. Like Sumlin over at A&M. Boy, he's got a lot of heat on him right now being the head coach. So anyway, to get to the bottom of the story, to equate this in wrestling terms, and you being a pro football guy, man, A&M came out, didn't shine up UCLA. They just started just laying the boots to them, straight heat. Got into a big lead. All of a sudden, you think the game's over. UCLA starts a furious comeback. Josh Rosen, who damn near got knocked out of the game early on. I mean, some blindside hits. I mean, they were just kicking this kid's ass. God dang it, all of a sudden, they end up winning that ball game, something like 45-44. They were down 34 points.
Holy smokes.
It was unbelievable. And Kristen and I were sitting there watching. We were casually watching, but I'm a huge, football fan, college and pro. And I was kind of like watching. It's like, man, this is hell of an ass whooping. They didn't shut them up none. And God dang, they tied it up and they kicked that point after. Kristen and I were both like, oh, damn near giddy. Wouldn't you say, Kristen? It was stupid. I almost started crying. But see, me being the toughest SOB in the history of the WWF, I can't start crying, Brian. I got to protect the gimmick. So you were the number 80 Seattle Seahawks fan. Tell me about your love for the Hawks.
Oh, boy. So moved out to Washington State, Olympia, hours south of Seattle when I was 8 years old. My grandpa used to take me a couple times a year. I got to see Dave Craig break the all-time record for fumbles. And Seahawks were so bad that the fans gave him a standing ovation for breaking the record for fumbles. They were pitiful for years. They were bad until I moved. Made the first Super Bowl with Matt Hasselbeck, and then now with Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll running things, and Schneider GMing. They're on fire.
You got a chance to see a little bit of Steve Largent, though, right?
Oh yeah. I got to see Steve Largent.
Dude could catch anything that was thrown at him.
Unbelievable, yeah.
And then Sean Alexander had a good run there, no pun intended.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude was lights out. They just couldn't put all the pieces together. And, I would like them like intermittently, and I'd like, God dang, they're just terrible. And then they'd come on, and then they'd fall off. Hasselbeck came on. He got on fire there for a couple years.
Oh, yeah, made to the Super Bowl.
What was your thoughts when Beast Mode decided, hey, man, I ain't going to play anymore, and now he's with the Raiders, I guess?
Yeah, he's playing with the Raiders right now.
But God dang, I mean, because they should have won the Super Bowl when they was playing against the Patriots. Hand the ball to Beast Mode, let him take it in. You've been losing the whole game. You've never had a lead. You got a chance to get a lead. What did you think about that call? Because people will still defend that call. I say BS. I give it to Beast.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing. I mean, even when I play Madden, I run the ball.
Right.
You give it to your most dominant player. That's him. Even if 11 guys on defense know he's getting it, that's why he is who he is. You give him the ball.
He's going to move 11 guys 1 yard and get the touchdown.
That's what I think. Yeah. And if he doesn't, you got another timeout. You got a couple more plays. Just run the ball with him. I understand them trying to outguess the defense, but what happens when you get too clever? Sometimes you throw an interception and lose the Super Bowl.
Brian, what have you been up to lately? You been on the road? You been training?
Yeah,
I shook your hand while ago and I hit you on the shoulder. You feel solid as hell. So what are you doing? You training hard?
Trying to put on some size, make myself more legitimate. Been training kids during the week and then doing my Mondays and Tuesdays with the cruiserweights. I'm doing that too.
With WWE?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Where's that at? And
this week will be in Anaheim and Vegas.
Hey, man, well, let's talk a little bit of cruiserweight. But God dang, man, let's talk about the devastation going on down there in Florida. Because when you say cruiserweight or 205, I think NXT down in Orlando. God dang, man, a lot of my friends, got smoked over in Houston on the Gulf Coast, Southeast, down there in Texas. I mean, that was hard to watch. And it's still 89. Hard to watch. God dang it, dude. And now here comes Irma. It just got up on Florida's ass and is hitting it pretty hard. And they thought it was going to cut up north and went a little bit west, but it's still just the storm surge. We've been kind of glued to the Weather Channel. And the dude from the Weather Channel, I just asked my wife this. Maybe you will know the answer. The people out there on the Weather Channel, they keep talking about the surge. Okay, you know, when the water just comes up, and this dude's in waist deep water. So my question to you is, they're telling everybody, get the F out of here for your own safety. So where do the weather people go when they need to get up and get out of the way? Can you answer me that question?
Oh, boy. I mean, I would imagine by helicopter, but where's the helicopter going to park?
Dude, it's too windy to get in the helicopter.
Yeah, so they're stuck there for the long haul.
I'm thinking they're out there with Skipper and Gilligan, and they're going to get jacked up, man. I mean, I'm just asking a question, because they're telling everybody to get out, storm surge, and the dude's in waist deep water.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about him. I almost gassed up my 95 Ford Bronco, and if Hershey was around, she'd been on the ride with me to go in there and pull some people out of that damn mess. It's going to be a mess, O'Brien, because when you look at Florida, it's just a big old foot. It's like a triangle, just dipped out there in the water.
Yeah.
And so no matter which side it comes from, I hope everybody's okay. I hope they got a lot of those people out there, but God dang, it ain't going to be pretty.
Well, then there's 2 more behind it, right?
Yeah.
So
somebody's just dodged Jose. Well, I'm thinking Jose Cuervo. Well, it was a hurricane. But there's another one brewing out there.
Yeah.
And they're talking about climate change. I told Kristen the other day, I said, man, I tell you, it's that global warming I've been talking about. And she goes, Steve, it ain't global warming anymore. It's climate change. That's the new buzzword. That's a new buzzword. So, Brian, you're the one with the big brain over here. You got the Chi-Town Rumble over here on the WWE Network. So, is it climate change? Is it global warming? In your estimation, you got a Seahawks jersey on. You should be able to answer this question. What is causing all the hurricanes?
Well, it's hurricane season.
The perfect answer.
Yeah. I mean, it's every year when the warm water, cold fronts, all that stuff meets. It happens every year. There was one in India. 1 million people displaced, over 1,000 dead, and that was within 2 days of the information. And I haven't heard anybody bring that up.
When was that? I didn't even hear about it.
Same time as Harvey. Exact same time.
No kidding?
Yeah.
It's like there was kayfabe in the hurricane in India. I didn't hear nothing about it.
Yeah.
But then look at my setup. I got a TV that ain't hooked to nothing. Mm-hmm. My computer doesn't work when it's hooked to the TV. Mm-hmm. I got a table over here, J-rigged. I got these microphones set up. I mean, my whole life is just like, I'm lacking technology over here, but I would appreciate if someone would have said, Steve, you hear about the hurricane in India? You know, I could have talked about that.
You could talk with 1,000 people. Nobody's talking about it.
No, man. I didn't know anything about it. Yeah, I mean, hurricanes are bad news. I keep telling everybody, or me and Kristen talk, because we're married. We have to.
Yeah.
And it works better when we do. I try to give her silent treatment every now and then, but it don't work so well. It's hard to say I'm hungry without talking to her. So I just rub my belly like this. Oh, okay, you ain't going to talk to me, but you're going to rub your belly? Okay, I'm going to burn your food. Here's a quick story for you, Brian, before we get into the match. Okay, see you later, Kristen.
Nice seeing you.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I think it just went to, I think it is working.
The other day, I put 4 pieces of chicken on the grill.
Hi, nice seeing you again.
I got a damn pellet grill. It's a smoker. And so you you dial it up, you set the damn temperature on the thing, and I kept reminding myself, looking at the clock, all right, man, in 10, 15 minutes, you need to go check that chicken. And 10 or 15 minutes came by, and I forgot. And I kept forgetting. I guess I could only forget one time because I never remembered. And so I forgot long term, and about 2 hours later, I said, God dang it, I wonder if that chicken's ready. And I'm thinking, well, I know it ain't ready. It's burnt.
Yeah.
Dude, I picked up that lid. It looked like 4 charcoal briquettes on top of that grill. And I was thinking, I'm very frugal. I hate to waste my money. But, I'm not going to break off a tooth trying to eat the chicken. So I had to scrap 4 chicken breasts. You got to figure those chicken breasts probably cost, I don't know, $10, $12. I don't remember what the price tag was. So I just wasted a bunch of money on a damn chicken because I was too stupid to check a damn grill. And that's the story of my life, Brian. You got to come over here. I'm still in my eating program. I'm heading down another few pounds, Brian. If it wasn't for that, I'd be drinking, a Broken Skull with you. But as it is, I'm drinking a Diet Red Bull, and then I'm going to go to the gymnasium, knock out an hour of cardio, do some weights. Ooh. And tonight is my booster meal. I don't like to say cheat. It's kind of a refeed. So I'll eat a hamburger, and I'll drink about 3 ounces of whiskey poured into a glass over a rock, just get my minor buzz going on. That keeps me on the rails, maintains my sanity.
Yeah.
You ever had to do anything like that? You're not naturally a heavy person. You're trying to bulk up right now.
Trying to bulk up.
You lucky son of a gun.
I mean, I'll get real smooth, real easy. I'm kind of there now. But what I do is, for my carbs, I drink beer.
Wise choice.
Yeah, it's what I do. I mean, that's a tough diet you're on. If a hamburger and 3 ounces of whiskey is your cheat meal, wow, that's serious business.
Yep. Somebody's got to do it. And if somebody else does it, it ain't going to work for me.
Yeah.
Because it won't be me. But nonetheless, once I get there, I'll loosen up. No, I'm not going to go through life, because I enjoy my buzz. But you got to pick in moderation if you're trying to get there. Someone asked me on Twitter the other day, they said, Steve, if I'm working out and, training real hard, how do I know if I'm drinking too much? So I tweeted them back. I said, well, what are your goals? And they said, well, to be 10% body fat, and I think they're trying to enlist and be in the Marines or some kind of high-level stuff. And I was thinking about that. Well, if you're trying to get down to 10% body fat and be ripped to shreds and get in the Marines and do one other thing he said he was going to do, I said, well, the more serious you are about it, the less you will drink. Because if you're sitting there thinking about it, let's just say you put someone on a caloric deficit eating program, and let's just say let's just call it 3,000 calories. So say you eat your 3,000 calories, but then you drink another 1,500 in beer. Which way are you going to go, up or down, Brian?
Oh, you're going up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I do every damn deer season. I go up. I can't go up no more. Dude, I was up about 288 a couple deer seasons ago, and when it's going on, I was drinking about 6 Broken Skulls. This is before Broken Skull was out, but the equivalent of 6 Broken Skulls a night, 12-ounce editions. So that's about 1,200 calories. And you think, man, as first month goes by, I think, man, for drinking as much as I'm drinking, and we start drinking margaritas early too, and those are stiff. And for as much sugar and as much alcohol as goes into those margaritas, I think, man, for a month in this, I'm holding pretty good. Then that next month goes by, and about the first week of January, we come on back to Los Angeles. I look in this mirror over here, and for some reason, the mirror in a triple wide looks a lot different than the mirror I got over here. And I'm thinking, I tell my wife, holy crap, why didn't you tell me I was getting wide as a double wide? And she goes, I think you look just fine. It's funny. My wife always thinks I look just fine. And, 288 from 245, that's about 43 pounds difference, Brian. So it catches up to a man. If I had your metabolism, I guess you can drink as much as you can drink as long as you're maintaining whatever you want to maintain.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you chalk it up like that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, burn more calories than you're going to consume. Choose your calories wisely. To me, it might not sound wise, but to me, beer is a wise choice for calories for me.
Hey, man, let's talk a little bit of football before we start talking about wrestling. Because you got your Seahawks jersey on, you got to get back to the house and watch the game. Who are the Seahawks playing today?
They're playing Green Bay in Green Bay.
Well, it's going to be a pretty tough game.
Oh, yeah.
Is Aaron Rodgers playing right now?
Yep.
Okay, so he's healthy.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were holding Andrew Luck is out.
Andrew Luck's out, yeah.
Because they just traded for Jacoby Brissett, quarterback backup from Tom Brady from the Patriots.
Did they now?
Yeah, they did. And so anyway, but I don't know who's going to be starting for them, but nonetheless, I was thinking about quarterbacks coming into the season with an injury. It'll be interesting to see if Derek Carr over in Oakland, well, they're not in Oakland anymore.
Oh, for 2 more years.
2 more years,
Two
okay.
more years.
To see, because, man, they were heading into the playoffs. He got injured, and they got smoked because he was pretty much the heartbeat of that team.
Sure.
So we'll see what they can do. I love Russell Wilson. Who's their go-to running back now?
They've got 4 guys right now. They got Eddie Lacy, the old Packer. Right. They got Thomas Rawls, who's the guy who filled in for Marshawn Lynch. They got this kid, C.J. Procise, who's a second
from
year.
Alabama.
I believe so. Yeah. Second year. And then they got this rookie undrafted Chris Carson, who I think by halfway through the season he's going to be taking over.
Really?
Oh yeah, he was doing first team reps in practice.
Where's he out of?
Oh boy, I mean he could have been Oklahoma. He could have been Oklahoma, Agricultural Institute. It could be anywhere. I have no idea.
God dang, I'm going to botch this guy's name. Did you see that kid, rookie, for who was the Thursday night game the other day?
You're talking about Hunt, Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt.
Oh, jeez.
Out of Toledo. Yeah. Never fumbled a football his whole career. Gets his first touch in the big leagues. Fumble. And then, dude, from there on down, man, he had a lights-out game.
200-something yards, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turned himself into a superstar overnight.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to see and god dang, but I hate to see, god dang, what's the guy? Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
Went out with a gimp leg right there towards the end. I don't know if it was his knee or his ankle, but he's that dude with the lights-out speed. They got one of the fastest guys in the NFL. And I hated to see him go out with an injury, so I hope he's good. Dude, how about a game plan Andy Reid went up there to the Patriots with?
A guy who always runs, started throwing. Alex Smith was on fire, but that Eric Berry, their safety.
Oh.
And this is a guy who just beat cancer.
It hurt to see him go down because when you go down with an Achilles injury, that's such a severe injury. No injury is good, but the Achilles is, especially in a position like that with all the the backpedaling forward break action that you got to do. That's a tough injury to come back from, and that was a heartbreaker because that dude's a stud.
Done for the year, yeah.
Well, I know, but even on the comeback,
we'll
see how to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, because like I said, at a position like that with so many gear changes, it's hard. But god dang, dude, here's the thing. They bring in, what's it, Patrick Mahomes?
Mahomes.
Stud quarterback, big live arm. If he can pick up the system, but they're really looking forward to that arm. And all of a sudden, hey, man, Andy Reid finally lets Alex Smith start throwing the football downfield instead of just throwing to the sidelines, that dink and dunk stuff. God dang, dude, he was hitting those guys in stride, and that was the only way you could hit them, so they didn't have to break stride and could make the getaway for the touchdown. So, man, that dude had an awesome game, and I've always been cheering for that guy because after Kaepernick, beat him out down there in San Fran, he goes to Kansas City, but he's still considered a game manager.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that dude was throwing the ball.
He's a winner.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he was first overall pick out of Oregon 10, 12,
yeah, way back
15.
In the day.
Yeah. There's a reason. I mean, there's the Jamarcus Russells who were first overall picks that don't. But I think he's a winner. His winning percentage is fantastic.
Well, we'll see as the season unfolds. I know it was only game one, but Jesus Christ, I think the guy is very relieved to finally say, hey, we're going to let you throw down the field. Yeah. And if you brought in the big arm Mahomes to throw downfield because that's what he's known for, winging it, you might as well let Alex stride first because he's the starter. And bam, dude, he was hitting everybody on target. We decided to watch a match. And I told Brian, I said, hey, man, pick a couple of matches and shoot them over to me, and we'll watch one of them. Just shoot the breeze and talk about the match, talk about the psychology, talk about the work. And a couple of matches you sent in was the 89 Flair Steamboat trilogy. Three times they worked during 89. They were all lights-out matches. Shawn Michaels and Flair from WrestleMania 24.
Yes, sir.
What was the Japanese match you said?
Ishii versus Okada. To me, Ishii is, WWE is a different style, so is Lucha Libre, but in that style and the intensity and the seriousness, Ishii is up there with the absolute best, I think. He's the stocky guy.
Looks like a bulldog.
The one who looks like a bulldog. I love him. I adore his work. I've known him since 2002, and he's never been anything less than good, and now I think he's the best.
Really?
Yeah.
God dang, he had a match against, Naito?
Yes.
And the G1.
Yes.
When it came to L.A., and they kind of started that match off. Well, that was the first time I saw Ishii because they're not real in tune with the New Japan product. But, of course, I knew Naito because, both guys have been around. Yeah. But I knew more about Naito. And, man, the way he walks to the ring with that damn crumpled-up suit on and just so lackadaisical. I mean, it's just great. And he started off kind of. Did you see the match?
I haven't seen that one.
Okay, it was
yet.
A little bit of comedy. A little bit of comedy was kind of in the Naito shine. And then Ishii ends up going over. And that one surprised me because I knew Naito more. It was the tournament. But the last 5 to 8 minutes was supreme. The bulk of the match was a little bit of gaga, but they were telling a story, but it didn't grab me like some of the other matches did. But I really enjoyed it and really enjoyed both guys. Now that you said that, I started watching the first 5 minutes of it, so I'll give it the rest of the watch. And then you said Sean and Flair from WrestleMania 24, and you said Austin Hart from WrestleMania 13.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch one of my own matches. So
Fair enough.
And then when I think about WrestleMania 24, when you watch that match, and the reason I went trilogy match was because when you watch 24, Shawn Michaels, here's the thing about both of those guys. Ric Flair is the greatest professional wrestler that ever wrestled, in my opinion. And Shawn Michaels is the greatest performer that's ever got inside the squared circle. You think, well, those are kind of the same thing, aren't they? No, they're not. To me. Then I'll let you elaborate. But, man, Flair was the last guy to travel the big loop all around the world, making guys, different territories, going back, 40 years. And dude, I mean, he jump-started Luger. He jump-started Sting. I mean, I don't know how many people he jump-started or just made guys. Terry Taylor told me a story. They were down in New Orleans. I guess they were working for Watts, or he was working for Watts. Flair came in. Flair had a hangover from hell and wasn't talking to Terry. And Terry's fixing to go out there. I mean, I think it might have been in the Superdome, but it's a big-ass building. I believe it was the Dome. He's nervous as hell. He's going against a world champ. Flair wanted to talk to him. He just kind of dragged out. And then finally, about 15 minutes before they hit the ring, Flair asked Terry Taylor, "Hey, man, would you give me a cup of coffee?" Of course, Terry went and got him a cup of coffee, comes back, and they tore the house down. I believe that match is on YouTube, and he goes, "Steve, by the 25-minute mark, I was begging him, pin me," because, here's Flair, just dragged down, tired from partying the night before, and all of a sudden the bell rang, and he was lights out. So when I say pro wrestler, and you and I are from a little bit different eras, who would be your favorite wrestler?
So if we're talking, like when you make the distinction between performer and wrestler.
Because performer, when I look at Shawn Michaels, he could, almost like a Brad Armstrong, but because Shawn got to a higher level as far as overness, Brad Armstrong was one of those guys who could work any style in the world, but just Shawn on the big stage, I've never seen him blow a high spot. He's always been there. He's never looked lost. Nothing seemingly. I remember one time he was working with Vader. Vader blew a high spot, and he MF'd him right in the middle of the ring, stomped him in the head, and he was pretty mad.
Oh yeah.
And he thrives on the big stage. So, and he's a tremendous worker. But just Flair was my favorite, just doing his past. But just when it comes time for anybody to work with Shawn, and if you look at some of the different categories of greatest wrestling matches of all times or matches of the year. Shawn Michaels' name comes up more often than not. So that's kind of the distinction I make. If I had to choose a library of whose stuff that I had to watch or would like to watch for the rest of my life, I got to go Flair matches because of all the entertaining stuff that he did within the structure of a match, the character, the gimmick, promos, the whole ball of wax. So back to you, your favorite wrestler versus performer.
Oh, it's tough because I there's so many I like. I'm a big fan of Otani. He wrestled in WCW for a little bit, but mostly New Japan and 01. To me, I think he's the Shawn Michaels of Japan in the sense of his facial expressions. You can feel him. I can sympathize with his face and just his grit and toughness. And then, Ultimate Warriors, who made me fall in love with wrestling as a child. But the one who kept me hooked after that was Coco Beware. With all of his energy and everything looked solid. And as a kid, I never cared about wins or losses. As an adult, I realized it meant even less. But if I had to pick the one guy I'd want to watch, I think the guy who has the best matches, besides like a Shawn or Flair, like you're saying, is Misawa from All Japan. He's had 20 classic matches.
Right.
Yeah.
Very high level guy.
Yeah.
And dude, those guys are tough as nails. Oh, Jesus Christ. Misawa and Kobashi used to put on those clinics. They just beat the dog out of each other.
Yeah. Misawa Kobashi, Misawa Kawada.
Yep.
And this is why Misawa's dead now. Died in the ring.
What was the bottom line on that? What was the takeaway from that? Because I remember that happening, but what happened?
I think his vertebrae severed something, and my guess was, and it was just a belly-to-back suplex, but my guess is that it was hanging on by a thread for God knows how many matches, taking German suplexes off of the stage onto the floor, stuff like that. I think he was working with a broken neck for years, and eventually it just was the straw that broke the camel's back, and he died in the ring.
Hey, man, when you watch some of those matches that those guys were having, and I remember a lot of the Kobashi and Kawada matches, what's your threshold of how strong style you work? Because I was a guy who was going to lay my stuff in, and I'll probably connect on a couple of punches during the comeback. But, man, those guys, like I said, man, they're beating the tar out of each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it was damn near like a shoot. It worked, but, and you couldn't see any gaps in anything. And a chop is a chop, but don't get me wrong, we're about to watch a lot of chops in this match. They start wearing on you, but just with the suplexes and everything, the way they lay that stuff in, where do you draw the line on, hey, man, it's a little too strong?
I like getting hit. Yeah, like that's part of the appeal and thrill, and I feel alive when I'm in there wrestling. So, to me, I like those types of spills. If they're not going to mean anything, it's pointless. Then we're just doing it just to do it, and I don't want to do it just to do it. But if you can tell a story with it and get a reaction, then I'll get dumped on my head. It seems, well, let me put it this way: being employed with the WWE is probably saving my life because they don't want you getting dumped on your head, and for good reason. It's a family product, and if somebody breaks their neck on TV, it looks bad. And obviously, it's dangerous, and then kids might be tempted to try it. So they could be saving me some years, but I get a real kick out of it.
Well, to that point, as far as just making things look good and working snug, yes, I do too. But getting dumped on your head, when you start going into unsafe territory with respect to falls, that's kind of a different ballgame. But just as far as snugness, it's like, dude, hey, man, if something looks good and it feels good, because there's a lot of times you'll see guys are a little bit on the green side, and man, they're really, some of the lockups we're about to watch, I'm fixing to start rolling this tape here, but the lockups, those first few lockups that they have, man, it's just deep tie-ins, and the way they've got their arms interlocked, the way they're locking up, I mean, Flair could have a conversation all day long there, and you're not going to see anything, but it looks like a good professional tie-up. A lot of times when you see two guys that are really green try to be real aggressive, it's just that kind of it's a struggle more so than that art form. Yep. A good crisp lockup that's clean, but all of a sudden people start shooting with it. It's kind of like, man, these guys they're green, they're rooks.
Sure.
You see that.
Oh, yeah.
So, and like when you look at the like a lockups of a Bobby Eaton, or like a Ricky Morton, guys that, man, Bobby might catch you every now and then with a quick right hand or something, rarely. But the way those guys would work, I mean, you wouldn't feel anything, but it looked like pro style. And when I say pro style, okay, he's like, look at me like, hey, man, Steve, it's pro wrestling. Everything's pro style. I mean, they were professionals at what they did, and so everything looked good. So sometimes when I see two guys just going so hard, sometimes the shoot doesn't look great.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, sometimes it looks like they're trying to play shoot to impress a crowd or whatever it is, but it just looks like they don't understand the art form. And I understand what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, it's presentation.
Yeah.
It's wrestling.
Yeah.
And you got to say sports entertainment with your WWE. Let's take a pause for the cause, words for the sponsor to keep this show on air for free. And that is TrueCar. Folks, when you're looking to buy a car, it's important that you're getting real pricing on actual inventory. Often enough, this is not the case, as people configure cars online only later to find out they're not available. But with TrueCar, you get real pricing on actual inventory. This is not pricing from TrueCar, but from an actual dealer, and even more so, a local certified dealer of your choosing that is committed to offering you a competitive market price. TrueCar users are more likely to enjoy a faster buying process when they connect with TrueCar certified dealers. There are over 13,000 TrueCar certified dealers nationwide. When you're ready to buy, visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Some features are not available in all states. And while we're talking about cars, let me take a minute here to tell you about how you can save hundreds of dollars on car insurance. All you have to do is go to geico.com, and in 15 minutes, you could be saving 15% or more on car insurance. You can finish listening to this podcast and immediately after, go to geico.com and get yourself set up. Extra money in your pocket? It may just be the most rewarding thing you do today.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. The biggest betting weekend of the year is finally here, which means more updated odds and props for Super Sunday. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. We have hundreds of prop bets, MVP odds, and exclusive in-game live betting. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the NBA, college basketball, NHL, and MMA, BetOnline provides you with all the action. Visit the website today and make game day action count a little bit more. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey, my name is James Petrogallo.
I'm Jimmy Wissman.
Please join us every single Tuesday for Crime in Sports.
So fun.
You like sports?
You don't have to.
Let's just set up a contest and find out what an idiot did wrong. What do you say?
I'm in.
We're going to do that each and every week. We take an athlete, we break him down, we make fun of everything he's ever done.
Yeah. But in order to do that, we have to build up and tell you all about their career and get you to what, James? To grace.
And then watch them fall from grace,
Who
as they
doesn't like
inevitably do. Join us. Big criminals, small criminals, sports you've never heard of. Doesn't matter. It's the crime. It's the comedy. It's such a good time. Join us every Tuesday for Crime in Sports.
You can join us every Tuesday at PodcastOne.com, the Podcast One app, or subscribe on all Apple products.
Find us every Tuesday and laugh at people.
The Steve Austin Show. The Steve Austin Show.
All right, I'm back with you, Brian Kendrick. We're just about to play button on Flair versus Steamboat from Chi-Town Rumble 89. You were about to segue into a story.
Yeah, so what I was rambling about was my wife. So I showed my wife these matches that we've went on to watch the most recent pay-per-view, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, whatever it would have been, with really great wrestlers. And what she says to me is, yeah, it's good stuff, but it's not as good as Flair and Steamboat. And to her, if you were to ask her today what the best wrestling in the world is, my wife, who knows wrestling more than the average person but less than the average diehard fan, she's going to tell you that these matches are the greatest matches ever. And I'm inclined to agree. My coach Rudy Boy says this trilogy is the ultimate in wrestling, and I think so too.
All right, let's hit the play button. I mean, we got the referee Tommy Young, the greatest referees of all time.
I think so. I think he's the best.
Look at this pre-lockup. Look at that. See that lockup? Both guys. I mean, look at Flair. Just a deep, good headlock and going right into a little bit of movement and boom tackle, cover. Just taking her time.
Yep, I like everything about it. The going for the cover right away because this is for the title. This is
see, look here. Flair, Steamboat tie up. Ricky grabs a headlock, goes right into a tackle drop down, and Ricky just drops right on top of him, goes back into the headlock. Do-si-do over the top into a roll up. Flair's on the bottom. Flair's gonna take a powder. And watch the way Flair plays this. Just a look in general to the crowd, but look, he's just playing it vanilla. He's not pandering. He's not panicking. He's just, there's Brad Mustard, former Chicago Bears halfback, big Flair fan. But watch how many times they really go to the crowd or try to, because they won't pander to the crowd. Flair just took that look. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, Flair's working heel here. Steamboat's always been a white meat baby, but Flair's almost, because he's so entertaining, in my opinion. You watch when he gets into a set of heat here in a minute, he's going to get real nasty. But just because he's Flair, and I think he was number 5 world champion right here. I can't remember, but he's so entertaining. He has a high number of fans just because he's Ric Flair and he's very entertaining. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, I think Ricky Steamboat doesn't have any gaps in his work. I think he's fantastic. I mean, and look, I'm talking about guys who are legends, and I'm nowhere near what they are. But as a Roger Ebert who never made movies and just talking out of my ass, what the difference between the two of them is Steamboat to me is like this hard-working man with morals Ric Flair is a hardworking man who's very braggadocious, and there's something entertaining about it when he brags about his greatness and does it in such an entertaining way. How do you not like it? He's the work is solid, meaning the wrestling, the technique, the storytelling, and then he's just flat out entertaining. He's funny to watch.
And he just turned into a chop fest. Flair takes a bump down, and he starts from his knees pointing up at Steamboat, and they're just staring at each other in the center of the ring. Tommy Young in the backdrop there. Because deep lock up, watch Flair. You never see Flair make a call. Always has his arms in the way. Rear hammer lock by Flair. But he's just pointing at Steamboat. Steamboat just got finished, Flair initiates the chops. Steamboat's going to bring them back. And those chops, after, these guys are going to go 30 minutes. Those chops, they feel pretty good for a while, but then it's like, Jesus Christ, really? They start wearing on you. But see, look, rather than just staying down, they go right from that right into a high spot. Yep. Steamboat slides between his legs, drop kicks him, little arm drag. Nope, just a headlock takeover.
He keeps going back to the head.
He keeps going back to the head. So they're telling the story. There's Tommy Young right in there. But watch, Flair will stay there for a little bit, but they're not just going to lay there and lay in a rest hold or a work hold. They're going to get back to a vertical base, and Flair will start doing this thing again. And the thing that I always got with Ricky the first time, I grabbed a headlock on him. I'd never worked with Steamboat before. And all of a sudden he starts top wristing out of it. And I'm thinking to myself, hang on, I didn't tell this guy to top wrist lock. That was just a guy filling in the gaps, because I got him in a compromising position. He's going to try to counter out of it. And I was at the 101 level at that time, so it was very refreshing to work with a guy that all of a sudden that was something as minor as that is. It was very new to me, and I was like, this is refreshing. This guy does a lot of stuff, and you don't have to tell him what to do. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some guys that you got to tell every single thing to do. And I'm not saying Steamboat's the only guy that ever did that. He was the first guy that I encountered with that depth of experience and started countering me, and I was like, man, this is nice because you're filling in the gaps. I got less to do because you're doing your stuff. Yeah. See, watch here. Okay, Flair's got him in the corner. Steamboat's back against the turnbuckle. Tommy Young trying to break the action. This is what Flair was good at, just getting on a guy, start chopping him, and turn it around and firing back. And he's got Steamboat chopped in the corner. He's going to send him in, reverse it. Boom, big chop, down goes Flair. Cover. Powder by Flair. Man, that's just a great shot of the crowd there. Look, watch Flair. He's composed. He's not. What's he doing right here, Brian? He's not overacting. He's not overselling. He's a little bit frustrated because Steamboat's giving him, he's matching him hold for hold, chop for chop. And look, dude, this looks like a shoot. This is a real sport. I just got finished watching the U.S. Open. Now he's thinking in between, this is a much more brutal sport than tennis. But look, he's playing chess out there, telling the cameraman to get out of the way. And this is 89 wrestling to me. And at that point, it's still a shoot. It's still real. So I just love the way these guys are just. Look, the action is still focused on the guy in the green trunks, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That's who he's focused on, and Steamboat's focused on him. Look, just kind of parrying each other, about to lock up, maybe a test of strength. Boom. Good lock up. See, look at the locking. Okay, you can never see Flair make a call here.
So by Flair powdering, what it looks like to me is he can justify it by saying that he's trying to slow down the pace. Steamboat keeps getting the advantage, keeps going back to the headlock, which he's in again. And when Flair takes the cheap shots, which he's doing now, which he did earlier, right, Steamboat turned it around. So anytime he tries to get an advantage, he can't find one, so he's going to try to reassess a game plan. And I'm sure Steamboat's going to turn it around again right here.
Well, that was a great high spot. Double chop. Flair takes a great bump between the second and third. And that started off with Steamboat in the headlock. Flair just got on him. Flair grabbed the headlock as soon as they did, went into the motion, did a 4-stage high spot. Boom, double chop outside between the second and third. And there's Flair powdering again because he's getting his ass whipped. Now look at him. But just the way he's playing it, dude. He's not frantic. He's not picking up the guardrails and shaking them and doing all the over-mad stuff. Like, I've done it. I've been there.
He's subtle.
He's subtle.
Yeah.
Now look at those guys just kind of circling, counterclockwise. Flair reaches a hand out. They'll just kind of play a little bit here. Tease the test of strength. Flair doesn't like what the left hand is doing over there. Watch. He's going to sucker him in. He'll kick him in the gut. Almost. Almost. No. No, go ahead.
Have you watched this on mute before?
No, it's the first time I watched it on mute.
You can see every detail of their faces. Like there's no gaps in anything.
And look at that tie-up. Collar and elbow tie up again, into the corner. Tommy Young, I thought they was going to do the kick in the gut a while ago. I was wrong. I've already watched this match twice back-to-back. Flair on Steamboat, knee in the gut, then a chop, sends him in for the ride. Steamboat off the second turnbuckle. Here comes the big bill out. Flair takes the bump, victory roll. What's that called?
That's the old style head scissors.
Old style head scissors.
Yeah.
I know it was something. Drop kick, headlock. Okay, back to the headlock.
1, 2, yeah.
Flair keeping the feet busy. He's in a prone position. Steamboat on top of the headlock. Flair's belly down, but he's kicking the legs. So many times when I go back and look at some of my old stuff, Brian, and when you watch your old stuff, you're like, God dang, man, that was bad. Oh. I would have done stuff with a lot more liveliness or more movement. You can't be on a dead cell. And a lot of times, I was on a dead cell, and a dead cell is boring. So whether it's a little tap of the boot that Flair was just doing, movement of the arms, or just going face up, you got to realize you cannot just lay there. You can sell, just don't be dead.
I'm in the belief that there should be no such thing as a rest hold.
Agreed.
Always moving, struggling to get out, struggling to maintain.
Man, just a great back and forth there. Steamboat grabs a headlock, one tackle drop down. Boom. Flair with the back elbow. And you don't see Flair just do too many tackle drop down, catch with an elbow. And then look, he feeds right into a chop from Steamboat. He's about to go over the top rope. Boom. You saw him set up for it. You saw him set up. He had both arms hooked. So you saw that one coming, but it was just classic Ric Flair. And now he's down there. Steamboat's on the second rope. And here's how good Tommy Young is.
Tommy Young on the ropes.
From the outside in, from the apron, admonishing Steamboat. Come on, man. Come down from there. Now watch this. This is a key part of the match. Flair wants Steamboat to come over and get him. Watch his right hand. He's giving him the signal. Watch his right hand. See, he's giving him a signal. No, he still hadn't picked it up yet. He's telling him, come on. You'll very rarely see Flair. He's telling him to come get him because he wants to yank him by the leg. He gives Tommy the instructions. Finally, Steamboat's going to get it. He says, come on, come get me. I'm begging you to come get me. Look at him. He's on the apron. Tommy Young tells Steamboat, go get him. He just wants to grab him by the foot. Tommy Young takes a bump. Now watch this. Watch this. Here's where he flips gears. Into the guardrail. Vicious chop. Watch the eye rake. Bam, eye gouge. Big chop. Watch. Oh, Steamboat takes a big bump. Now watch Flair's pissed off here. He's mad. He gets on the fan here, tries to get a chair. Can't get it. But just watch where he just switched gears there, Brian. Do you see that? Into the guardrail. Vicious. He's going to get on someone in the crowd here in a minute. But you saw that pacing. You saw the back and forth action. Everything was a good wrestling story. Steamboat wants to keep going back to the headlock. Finally, Flair gets his ass out there. He's powdered I don't know how many times. This time he yanks Steamboat out, beats the trash out of him, turns the viciousness up another notch. He hit the next gear. So now he's on top. But watch. He's about to get Steamboat back on top after a minute. Pulls him back in from the outside. Snapmare, and drop a leg on him. I used to love the way he drops that knee on the forehead. Now here he is. He's trying to use pinning predicament, Steamboat, but he's still trying to work that pin. I always like the way he grabs a guy's hair like he does, but he's not yanking it out of the back of his head. Chicken wing suplex, goes for another cover.
When I like the repeated pins, even though we know you're not going to win on the second or third pin right after starting a heat, but it's the idea that you're reinforcing the idea that you want to win.
Yes.
The point of the match is to win, and we get it.
Okay, Flair goes to the woo there. Look at Steamboat on his hands and knees, grabs that knee pad of Flair's. Steamboat could always get that 1,000-mile stare going, like when he's really starting to get in deep step. Watch it, he's going to come back with a chop here. This is what Flair's so good at, keeping that baby alive. And he don't, look at Flair making a call here in the corner, watch. Look at him, ventriloquist. You very rarely see this. Now see him still calling.
Yep.
You never see this. Into the corner, upside down. Watch this. Off the top. Okay, here we go. Crossbody, reversed by Steamboat. This could be it. Kicks out. Okay, now Flair's in back pedal mode. Knife edge chop by Steamboat. He's on top. Atomic drop by Flair. Steamboat sails right into a figure four.
Oh, shoot.
He brought him up, almost got a near fall on him.
Yep.
And now here he is in his famous patented figure four leg lock, and Steamboat is selling. Now watch how magical this is. Watch the skill. Look how much he's really laying in that figure four. Okay, there's the ropes. I'm going to get these ropes for extra leverage. Perfect positioning by Tommy Young. Steamboat is like Hamlet in a Shakespeare story. Just watch the positioning. And people are getting mad as hell because Flair's using the ropes. He'll get caught here in a little bit, but watch how many times and watch the perfect position. Look at Steamboat just selling his ass off. Of course, you still got a couple of diehard Flair fans there because, four horsemen. That's how much, was the legend of Ric Flair. Okay, man, you went from a submission hold to still a submission hold, but now because he's so wore out, he's getting a couple of 2 counts with the pin. And look at Tommy Young just draped all over him. He won't quit, he says to Flair. It's just great. Almost sets a tap out there, but he's trying to.
In today's, we would call it.
He's trying to get that the crowd behind him, and here comes that Chicago crowd. So Tommy Young just asking him, "Come on, man, do you want to give this up? You can't take too much more." Look, Flair looks to the crowd, but he's not pandering to the crowd.
Even Tommy Young is soaking wet with sweat.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
Here he goes. He's about time to get caught.
Yeah.
Flair's on the ropes. Goes back down. Still, Tommy Young is so focused on the eyes of Steamboat. And the Flair really lays back in the hold right here. He got the figure four deep. Dude, if this don't look like a shoot, I don't know what is. I mean, we're in the day of the UFC. Okay, finally. God dang it, Tommy Young catches him.
Prying the legs.
He's got to pry that leg. Here's a little altercation with Tommy Young here. You can't touch those ropes. Okay, Flair's cocky now. Boy, he knows he's done the damage. Kicks him in the breadbasket. Back to the knee. Dude, that's just good stuff. Look at the facials on Flair.
Well, and so Steamboat, I think he's I know he's a legend, Hall of Famer, but I still think he's underrated. I can feel his pain, every muscle in his body. His leg is screwed up, and like you said, that 1,000-mile stare. Steamboat is so good.
But see, here's the thing. Here he goes. Steamboat's making a little bit of a comeback here. He's chopping the hell out of Flair. Flair's bringing us. He knows. Okay, Steamboat sends him in. Flair ducks. Crossbody over the top. Both men. Sweet bump. That was a sweet bump right there.
And he was 2.5, 3 feet away from ropes and still made it. Yeah.
And they would do that in the next match as well. But that's just a hellacious bump. But when you say Steamboat's underrated, Steamboat's not a name when you think, okay, man, top guys of all time. All of a sudden you're thinking just mega over baby faces. Yeah. Okay, Steamboat into the post from the outside, Flair on top. It's everybody knows that Steamboat was one of the best workers that there ever was. But when you say underrated maybe to the general public. But within the fraternity or circle that is the boys, everybody knows
they get
Steamboat's this is my one cuss word on the podcast, let it fly. Everybody knows Steamboat is the shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody knows Steamboat can go like nobody's business. Suplex from outside in, holds him up. I mean, wouldn't you say that? When you say Steamboat, everybody knows. I mean, dude, that's a working son of a gun.
If there's somebody in this business who doesn't think so, then they got to reassess.
Right.
Yeah. The goal as a babyface to me is to be able to feel the way Steamboat feels, so I can get people to feel the way I feel watching Steamboat.
Flair, watch just the pacing of this match. To me, it's 2017. This match still holds up. He just tried to pin him like 3 times. Okay, push, famous Flair spot. I got the referee. Tommy Young says, I'm the sheriff here. We got a sales job by Steamer. Left arm kind of behind his back. He's in a kneeling position. Flair pulling him up by the hair. Just the way Flair will get him in trouble, start chopping him, then he'll have Steamboat reverse those chops. Here we go, foot on the ropes. This is what he's been doing, all day long. He keeps going for pins from the same position, to your point. He's in the heat. He's in control, and he's trying to win the match. Sense of urgency. He's always trying to win. See, like, a lot of Flair fans back here. Okay, man, here comes the roll up from behind. Okay, here, watch Flair. Let's go to work here with the chops. Look at him. Form in the way. He's making a call. Send Steamboat in. Steamboat's going to jump over leapfrog. Nope, he goes for the splash, and Flair moves out of the way. So Steamboat's down, pancake bump off the second rope, belly down.
So, so all this is set up with the, if you're watching this on the network, you see where Steamboat beats the hell out of him when it's just a promo. You see the heat with Ric Flair calling him basically a whipped dude, go wash the dishes. I love it.
But that's when, Steamboat stripped him down to his underwear, started beating him around the ring. That sets up this match.
So he has to take him seriously. And if he can win with a third pin out of 3 tries in a row with the feet on the ropes, he'll take it.
You've got
struggling for
backslide to struggle. Steamboat wins it. Flair kicks out on 2.5, goes right back to the gut. He's going to make a call here. There he is. Big chop. Flair had that mop of hair. I just think that added to everything they did, whether it was getting color or just flailing his head around. And when you see watch Flair for the reposition. Anytime you ever see Flair get shot out of a corner, a lot of guys, Steamboat just comes out of the corner, hits him with a clothesline. If you watch almost every single Ric Flair match that there is, if someone has Flair in a corner and they're on top, if they try to shoot him out, Flair will redirect, reposition them, and put their back in there, and he'll call. He's not getting sent across diagonal of the ring to the other turnbuckle until he says what the hell is going on. Every single match. That's one of the things I really liked about him, because sometimes, I'd let a guy take over on me. Hey, man, he's going to call something here in a match. And all of then we're in motion and we go about the high spot. But, Flair was a guy who was always, in control. One of the matches you wanted to watch, okay, we're getting ready. I think we might be here for the finish. He came off with a knife edge chop off the top turnbuckle. We're about to go into a crossbody off the top rope. Tommy Young is down. Flair's down. Tommy Young's down. Ricky Steamboat is on top of both of them. We're getting close to the finish here because the referee is down.
Teddy Long doesn't come in on this one, does he?
Yes, he does. Okay. Here's the win. Flair with the tights. He's got him for at least a 5 count, 6 count. Okay, god dang, he's frustrated. He's pissed off. Where's my referee? Rakes Ricky Steamboat by the eyes. Trash cans him over the top rope.
I like how you cleaned that up.
Yeah. See what I did there? Okay, there's Teddy Long making an appearance. Here's Steamboat, man. Oh, he goes for the crossbody or just at least a dive, and he lands belly down on the mat. Flair spins him over, goes for the figure 4. Small package. Here comes Teddy Long. 2, 3. We got a new world champion. Now, watch this. Okay, Gary Michael Capetta? Whoever's in the ring, no, it's Hiro Matsuda. Okay, Teddy Long's raising up Flair saying, watch what Flair does to Tommy Young. He wants him to reaffirm the fact that Steamboat is indeed the champ, so watch him. Watch him make the call to Tommy Young right now. Watch this. He'll go over there because he wants to emphasize that Steamboat's the champion. Watch.
Yep. Hand over the
see
mouth.
That?
Yeah.
Hand over there. And see, now he's really pitching a fit. He went over there and told Tommy Young, hey, Teddy Long's raising hand up, but I want you to say it. And right there, announcer's right on cue with making the announcement, and then Flair just goes livid. And it added to the pop. It doubled the pop.
Yeah.
That's how smart Flair is. And that's how he want to make sure if he's doing the favors, if he's making a world champion, to put that extra stamp on the exclamation point. There's a small package right there. Comes Teddy Long. Perfect timing. 1, 2, 3. Perfect cadence on the count. Wasn't a quick count. It's just one of those perfect counts that you can always kick out of if you need to. And if you win a championship, it's the perfect count because, like when I won the title from Shawn in 14, Tyson gives a quick count. There's 3 of them, but it was bam, bam, bam. It's like, come on, man. I need you to really take that extra beat in between those counts so that I was really, pinning Shawn for that legitimate 3.
Yeah.
The quick count is just... That was the one thing I took away from that match. I was glad to win it, but when I look back at it, it's like I would have liked to have won with a regular cadence count. You know what I'm saying?
Don't steal the count. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's Jim Ross. I mean, Magnum TA, what a good-looking guy. This is post, Porsche wreck. His right arm is paralyzed there. And God dang, do you remember very much of Magnum TA?
This time, so I would have been 10 years old, and I grew up in Washington State, so we didn't get any of this stuff.
Right.
So Magnum TA is all stuff I watched, all his stuff I watched as a wrestler. So when I was 19, 20, later than that. So I got to watch this bright star burn out before he really got to become who he should have became.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't get to experience him before the tragedy that happened, so it made it even sadder.
Right.
I never got to see his potential. I knew it was already taken away from him. And it's yeah.
To me, he'd been... I don't know how far he would have gone. I just know he would have been a top guy. He was really just a good-looking guy, good physique, good height, good weight, great mustache. Chicks loved him. But they did.
Yeah.
I mean, he had movie star looks.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Chicks
for the
loved
time
him.
especially.
But also, you can be sometimes too good-looking and it gets heat with the guys. And
sure,
he was one of those kind of guys that was so cool that the guys liked him, as well as it was okay if your girlfriend liked him because he was Magnum TA. He was just an ass kicker, along with being this good-looking guy, kind of barrel-chested, wasn't overly athletic, but everything that he did, he was a serious guy. And, he had those fiery promos. Him and Dusty struck up that relationship. They were good buddies, and it came across on screen when they were working angles and stuff. I just thought Magnum was... just who knows what would have happened had that guy not had that crash. It would have been interesting to see the run that he would have had.
Yeah.
Because, man, he was just, he was nothing was crazy about his work. He was just a dude that people believed in because he had that heart and soul and that fire. And, dude, when you pissed him off, I mean, god dang, who was that match? Was it him and Tully that had that I Quit match?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, and those two paired off. The chemistry between those two guys was off the charts. Superstar. Steamboat was just fixing to cut a promo there.
Oh, this is where Michael Hayes drowns him with champagne.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah. I was totally screwing with him.
I was watching the match where it was the one out of Nashville. And Flair wins the match. Beach Steamboat goes over, and this was, I guess, it was the final match.
I think this was the first one.
Yeah, but this when the three judges were there with Terry Funk when he shot the angle
for the final match. Yeah.
So for the third and final match, when Funk comes in there to congratulate Rick, and then Rick, man, it was an awesome back and forth on the promo because Rick says, because Terry Funk challenged him after congratulating him, but Flair says, man, you've been out there rubbing shoulders with Sylvester Stallone. You ain't in the top 10. Paraphrase. And
over the top, then, maybe, yeah.
And so that's when, maybe it was over the top. Yeah. But that's when, Funk just jumps Flair after shaking him. Funk is a lefty, so shaking his hand with the right hand, he's a natural lefty, throws a great working punch, just drills Flair, beats the trash out of him, and then they springboard right from a great match with Steamboat into a program with Funk.
After watching those three matches, the most recent time I watched, maybe within the last 6 months, I go back and watch, I think it's a Clash of the Champions, but with the two of them work, I love Terry Funk anyways, but Terry Funk, when he's reinvented himself after that Hollywood run, he's so good. He's so good. The way he sells, and he seems like he doesn't know how to wrestle, if that makes sense, just how a guy would fight in there.
Right.
And I love it. Yeah.
I don't know if I would call that because Dory Jr. was so scientific. And I don't know if you'd call what Terry did a brawler or just X Factor. Because he could wrestle. And he did implement wrestling.
Oh,
but
I know he can.
But just there was kind of a combination. It was like a hybrid. I mean, you didn't know what you was going to get with him.
Yeah.
Anytime we went out there. Yeah. Because he could do either or both.
Yeah.
But it was like, and to your point, it looked like a fight. But it looked like a pro fight.
Yeah. I've seen his stuff even from All Japan when he was wearing trunks versus Hoffman and Horst, I think is who it was. I know he knows how to exchange holds, but the way he looked in there looked like if you just had a tough dude from a bar. It was awesome.
But also, when you see a lot of guys going back to the days, man, we were hanging out in bars and stuff, and generations way before me, of course. You know, sometimes, you know, a lot of guys, you know, just don't come across as that tough. When you meet Terry Funk, and like you talking with him, and you know, Terry's a little bit older now, but I mean that with respect. When you talk to Terry, it's like, yeah, man, this dude's legitimately tough. You know, whether he was or not, and I think he was. But, I mean, he just come across as raw bone, sinewy, just, you knew he was a man. And that dude could probably jack you up.
Yeah.
And also you think, this guy might really be a little bit off his rocker, which he wasn't, but that's what you would think because that was his X factor.
I believe it, yeah.
He might have been Brian Pillman before there was a Brian Pillman.
Yeah.
Well,
working everybody.
So that was interesting. So what's your takeaways from watching Flair Steamboat here at the crib today?
I've watched it a dozen times. I've watched it on mute mostly. As I'm getting buzzed on Broken Skull, I'm slurring my speech, but it's as great as ever. I mean, everything everything makes sense. It looks like if the idea is like magic in the sense that we're trying to convince people, or like a movie that we're trying to convince people and we're trying to take them out of their real world and to believe this world, I believe everything that they're doing. I believe that taking a buckle, flipping over, going off the top of the crossbody, which he beat Harley Race with before, and now it means something. And the idea that Ric Flair's paying that off later for those who paid attention means something. Right. So he's rewarding those who have paid attention. That Flair is letting Steamboat fire back up to get the figure four on, so he can go for the figure four later to get rolled up with the ref bump. I'm whisked away. And that's what I ask for my entertainment. Whisk me away. Let me forget about the real world. Let me believe what I'm seeing is real, and I believe all of it. I loved it.
And the thing about it is, but when I had the microphone, when I had the pause button pushed on the recorder, we're going to watch the match without sound, which is what we did. And you said, I tell my students to watch this without the sound so they don't listen to the commentary. And this was commentary about Jim Ross, and I guess it was Bob Cottle. I saw him do the backstage interview. But because the commentary and your reasoning was, you give your reason.
So you can be influenced by it. You know, the commentary will tell you to pay attention to this. This was great. This was whatever. The audience will dictate your emotion, and wrestlers can sometimes think, well, if the crowd was into it, it was a good match. This is just up to the individual viewer, so you can pay attention to everything from the eyes to the way Ricky Steamboat's shoulders are falling back when he's desperate. Every little detail makes it seem like it's real. And that's what makes these the greatest matches ever, whereas Amasawa, who I was saying, who I adore before, can take a brain buster off the apron, and while he's supposed to be dead, will adjust his knee pads. And that takes me out of it.
Right.
Whereas I can see, like you were saying, the 1,000-mile stare in Ricky Steamboat's eyes. And I don't see Ric Flair calling spots. Right. It takes a really educated eye to notice that. That's what I appreciate.
And also, like when Jim Ross was calling this, you can't help but just get roped in because he doubles the excitement by his commentary. That's how good he is at telling the story that you're watching. So when you cut it off, you don't have that reaffirmation or this, hey, man, this is how good this is, or here's some history on these guys and all these great facts and the passion and excitement and knowledge that Jim brings to the horn. You turn that off, and you're just watching what we just watched in silence. And as I was watching in silence with you, I was like, boy, he's right, because I'm watching this from a whole different standpoint now. My eyes are glued to the set. I'm not listening to Jim, and I'm purely watching. And then I was picking up things because I watched this match twice back-to-back before you came over, but I was picking up things that I hadn't seen before. because I was just watching it. I wasn't swayed by the announcer. And so what you're saying is, as a learning tool or as a teaching tool, take that audio out.
Yeah.
So you're just watching, you pick up that without the announcer trying to give you any ideas or what's up and digest everything. And when I was pointing out some of those calls Flair was making there in that corner as he was getting chopped, and you very rarely will see Flair make a call, and he was in ventriloquist mode. That's how good Flair is. And all the tie-ups and picking up the elbows. And the last one, when he put his mouth in front of it, he put his hand in front of his mouth to tell Tommy Young, no, go over and hold up his hand too for that double pop. You never, ever see Flair make a call, and that's one of the things that I like about his match. I pointed a couple of them out here just because you have to look very hard to see them. And if he has his arm up, he's talking, but you cannot tell he's talking. And those are some of the things when you see a guy, and dude, I was a guy with no hair. So he had some hair to hide behind, but he knew how to position those arms of his so you couldn't see calls. And that would be something that I would do. Even a bald guy, a lot of guys hide behind hair, and that's good. You use what you got.
That's why I got long hair.
Yeah. So, but it's nice to see it at such a high level from, in my opinion, the greatest to ever do it. But hey, man, great to have you over. It was fun doing this. First time we've ever done it. If you got any feedback, man, send me something to questions@steveaustonshow.com and tell me if you want to hear more of these. You can kind of watch these matches with us. I didn't give you a time code to start with. And you're not watching this, you might be driving down the road to work. But if you were able to listen to anything that we said that grabbed you, give me the thumbs up or thumbs down, and I will do some more or I won't do some more based on your feedback. But I enjoyed sitting here shooting to show you. Here's the thing, dude.
You can do better with somebody else other than me. Don't judge it based on this.
Well, I mean, we're not trying to do a color commentary. We're just sitting there shooting the breeze, and it was fun just sitting there talking to you while my wife was trying to get my system hooked up. And you brought over the Broken Skull IPA over here in the Seattle Seahawks jersey. You got to go watch a football game. But we had talked the last time you came over, and I said, hey, man, or whatever. It was kind of like a double exchange. You want to sit around and shoot the breeze and watch wrestling. Give me a yell. So it's the first time we got a chance to hook up and do it. It's fun.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to knock anybody's work. We just watch good work and put it over and enjoy it because, dude, I've been out of business for 14 years, but I'm as big a fan now as I was when I was 7 and 8 years old watching in Texas for the first time.
No kidding.
So I still love the business. And you watch guys that you look up to do high-level work. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Hey, on social media, drop some information about your school.
Oh, shoot.
Anything you want to drop. If you ain't got nothing to drop, don't drop it.
I got my Pro Wrestling Presents September to December, September 21st. Check it out on Twitch. Thank you.
What about Twitter? The Brian Kendrick?
Oh, Mr. Brian Kendrick.
God damn, you changed your gimmick?
No. It's the Brian Kendrick was taken by somebody else. It was pretend to be the Brian Kendrick. My wife runs all of it, but she'll put stuff out about my Pro Wrestling shows. I run wrestling shows once a month. I've got Chow Mein Charlie. I've got. So here's what I'm going to make. I'm going to make Cold Stone Steve Boston cream pie, and he's going to have a giant Boston cream pie head, and he's going to open up a can of whipped cream on your ass. But I make like foam-headed characters and weird costumes. So Cold Stone Steve Boston cream pie.
Dude, I mean, last time I talked, you called a high spot I could not understand. I'm down with you. I understand you. But that's a little far-fetched. I wish you all the best in this next endeavor.
Oh, thank you very much.
Hey, next time when my schedule clears up, give me a yell. I'm going to come down there to the dojo and watch you work out with some cats. We'll shoot the breeze again.
Oh, shoot. I'm going to take you up on it.
All right. Date set.
Thank you
later. All right, everybody, give me the go-home cue. It's time to wrap up his podcast and ride off into the sunset. Before I do, I want to thank the Brian Kendrick for coming by 317 Gimmick Street and chopping it up with me today. I had a good time watching that match, and watching it with silence and rather than listen to the commentary was a very interesting thing to do. Now, I love listening to the sound because I love Jim Ross calling matches, but to watch it just for the visual and watching the work really takes you directly into watching everything that they are doing. I pointed out a few things. I'm not trying to just smarten everybody up, but I mean, It's just this match is one of those kind of things where it's wrestling in its highest form inside a squared circle, and you can see a little bit of the process. Two of the best ever to do it. And it's always fun to talk about Ric Flair, and it's always fun to talk about Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and shoot the breeze with a real knowledgeable guy like Brian Kendrick, who, comes from his world and his background and his points of view on the business, his psychology, and his opinion. Sometimes, we're spot on and agree with each other, and, we have our take. So it was good talking with him. I encourage you to watch for your viewing pleasure. Something to watch would be a match out of the trilogy from Flair and Steamboat, whether it's from the Chi-Town Rumble, whether it's from Nashville, or Jesus Christ, where was that other one at? I forget. Nonetheless, all three matches are available on the WWE Network, so check that out. You can find them on YouTube, but now I'm kind of leaning towards the network. I can find everything. I just wish I could hit that pause button. Again, send me some feedback on if you dug the podcast or not. All right, before I get into some plugs, I got to give you guys a date to set on your calendar and to set your DVR. The date, Tuesday, September 26th, 10/9 Central, only on CMT, the season premiere of Broken Skull Challenge. Steve Austin's Broken Skull Challenge, no less. Toughest damn show on television. This is season 5. This thing is off the charts. It is absolutely off the charts. I'm very proud of this season, and it starts Tuesday, September 26th, 10/9 Central on CMT. Enough plugging that. All of the badass shirts you will see me wearing on Broken Skull Challenge can be found at ProWrestlingTees.com/Steve Austin. And I will release a shirt today. As a matter of fact, today you can find one of the shirts that I will release. If you're thirsty, the best damn IPA on the planet is Broken Skull IPA at El Segundo Brewing Company. If you're in town, stop by the brewery, 140 Main Street, El Segundo, California. Come out of airport, LAX, hang a left, hang a right, you're there. You can also get Broken Skull IPA at Whole Foods and Total Wines if you live in California. If they ain't got it, find the store manager and ask why they don't have it, because they're supposed to. If you ain't in Cali, check InsideTheCellar.com and see if they ship to your state. And if you're looking to either get the Cold Steel Broken Skull knife or the Cold Steel Working Man knife, you can get them at my new Amazon store. Amazon has the best price on both knives, and they are high quality. All badass, sharp, tough-ass knives. Just go to Amazon.com/shop/Steve Austin. I got to say one more thank you to all the fine sponsors of the Steve Austin Show. That is how I'm able to do this podcast for you twice a week for free. And you can find all my sponsors at PodcastOne.com. Just click on the Killer Deals button at the top of the page and then click on the Steve Austin Show banner. And speaking of Podcast One, the new Podcast One app is now available for download at the App Store or Google Play. And there ain't another podcast app like this one anywhere, and that's because the new Podcast One app is loaded with some cool features that let you do a lot more than just listen to your favorite shows. You can access behind-the-scenes photos, articles, and connect with other fans of the shows you like. And you can watch over 1,000 360 virtual reality videos. You can actually watch some of your favorite shows in virtual reality. It's like you're sitting in the same room with them. So get to the App Store, Google Play, and download the new Podcast One app now. Folks, if you want to follow me on social media, you can. I am at Steve Austin BSR on Twitter and Instagram. And, by the way, when I ride Kawasaki. Until next time, folks, my name is Steve Austin, and I will catch your ass down the road.
This has been a Podcast One production. Download new episodes of The Steve Austin Show every Tuesday at PodcastOne.com. That's PodcastOne.com.